Hello, my name is Fisher Lees from the DHS Enterprise Clinical Informatics team, and in this brief video, I will demo the MPage Workspace sidebar and copy forward functionality. Your DHS leadership has approved this update to save you time while simultaneously improving the communication value of notes. Workspace shows up as a sidebar on the right-hand side of MPages. Click the arrow button to show or hide the Workspace sidebar. The Workspace sidebar can be resized by dragging the sidebar edge left or right. The Settings button shows user-level preferences. First, the sidebar contains two sections, charting components and documentation components. For all providers, we recommend setting the documentation components to appear first. Additionally, drag and drop components to match your preferred workflow. Recall that the DynDoc template downstream of the MPage will maintain a consistent DHS-wide ordering of note sections to ensure note readers can rapidly find pertinent information. But as a note author, you can arrange your work in whatever order seems natural to you. For this demo, I will drag the assessment and plan and hospital course components to the top. For most of the documentation components, subjective, objective, etc., Workspace is simply a light UI uplift with no radically new functionality. But within the assessment and plan component, Workspace introduces the ability to copy forward a problem-based assessment and plan. First, a brief aside to discuss the problem list. To take advantage of copy forward, you must use the problem list MPage component. DHS strongly recommends using the problem list for several reasons, including provider workflow, quality and patient safety, continuity of care, and documentation and coding. Plus, doing so will save you time, as I will show. All encounter diagnoses should be marked "This Visit" on the problem list to correctly flow into encounter notes, discharge summaries, and patient printouts. Eyeball the existing problem list to see if a chronic condition is active for your encounter. If so, check the "This Visit" checkbox. Add new diagnoses with the search bar, and they will automatically be marked as "This Visit." This may seem burdensome versus just typing hashtags, but the copy forward functionality unleashed means your investment breaks even and becomes a time saver even by hospital day 2 or your first return visit. And zooming out, we are a team caring for our patients. When we all as a system use the problem list, we all benefit, as we will see. The priority column lets you adjust problem sequences in your A&P. For example, if you want to move AKI down in your A&P, set a new priority and your A&P automatically updates. To lump two problems in your A&P, set the priority so they are sequential, and type your plan into the lowest box. Any blank boxes will vanish when you sign your DynDoc, leaving the lumped problems visual for note readers. To remove a problem from your A&P, set the priority to --. For example, say my patient was admitted with hyponatremia, which resolved on hospital day 2. On hospital day 3, this resolved problem just clutters my progress note. I can update the hospital course, which flows into the discharge summary, but resolved problems really don't belong in my progress note. So I unprioritize hyponatremia, and it vanishes from my A&P. If the problem returns later in the hospitalization, just reassign priority to pull it back into your note. Be careful not to uncheck "This Visit," since this is still an encounter diagnosis that requires coding by HIM. Okay, now to copy forward. Some of you may have a visceral positive or negative reaction when you hear the term copy forward. If quoting Spider-Man isn't too cheesy, with great power comes great responsibility. This video will demonstrate the responsible use of this feature for both time-saving and improved clinical communication. Say I'm seeing my inpatient on hospital day 3. First, I confirm the problem list "This Visit" problems are complete, accurate, and prioritized. Then, within the assessment and plan box, I click on the last A&P dropdown and select My Last Problem, then click Off menu to apply. And the last problem-based plan I authored pulls forward as a draft starting point for today's plan. Note the citation that occurs at the end of each draft. When I update the day's plan, this citation disappears to signal original content to note readers. So that's my last problem. But say that I admitted the patient on Thursday and Friday was my day off, and now it's Saturday and I want to pull forward yesterday's plan, which I didn't author, but instead was written by the covering resident. In that case, I should select Most Recent Problem from the dropdown, then click Off menu to apply, to pull forward the most recent plan for each problem, whether authored by myself or a different provider. Now let's talk outpatient encounters. Say I'm seeing a patient back in primary care clinic. My patient has type 2 diabetes and I see them roughly Q3 months. When pre-charting, I would like to pull forward my last plan for their type 2 diabetes. Again, I first look at the problem list, and select diabetes as a this visit diagnosis. Then I select my last problem to pull forward my plan from 3 months back. Individuals will have different styles, but you can see how pertinent chronic condition information can be pulled forward as a draft to help me pre-chart an agenda set for today's encounter. Now say I observe that one of my colleagues saw my patient just 1 month ago, more recently than I did. And actually, they updated the plan for my patient's diabetes management. Instead of pulling forward my last plan, I'd really like to pull forward my colleague's plan, since it is the most recent. So I select most recent problem to pull forward the most recent plan for my patient's diabetes, whether authored by myself or a colleague, as a draft starting point for today's plan. In this example, my colleague copied forward my problem-based plan and updated it to save them time. And then I updated my colleague's problem-based plan and updated that to save me time. This virtuous cycle saves everyone time, and it improves the quality of our documentation. This concludes our Workspace sidebar training video. We hope that Workspace enhances your ability to provide excellent patient care with fewer clicks.